Let's talk about ADHD. So I was lately diagnosed at 45 years. It's known, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But I've also learned that it is also called the Hunter type brain, and it is a type of neurodivergence. So it's very interesting about ADHD because I've had it my entire life, but I had no idea that I had it. My conception of ADHD was a kid, usually a boy, who couldn't sit still. They jumped around, they did all sorts of things. In class, they disrupted the class, they couldn't pay attention, they didn't listen. That was what my thought of ADHD was. It wasn't until in May, even though there'd been a lot of signs, that was actually when it all came together for me. So you can have inattentive ADHD, and that is the kind that I have. So I was a daydreamer. I would stare off into space. I had a superpower. When I was a young girl, I learned to draw at 3, and I could draw for hours without moving. So that seems like the complete opposite of ADHD if you only know about the hyperactivity. I could also read. I could read books far above my level. But the reading can be, some people could read, some people could not. I don't know. That's my own personal case. So I started a business, MomCraft Connect, which is the rebrand of all of the businesses that have come before. So if you've watched my old videos, you might have seen a couple of different names. And progress, not perfection, that is one of my favorite mottos. As well as perfect is the enemy of done. Because if I were to wait until it was absolutely perfect, then I will do nothing. Which actually I think is also very related to ADHD. So I guess I could just discuss some of the challenges that I face and the superpowers that I have. We'll start with executive functioning. Actually, I was spending way too much time trying to get everything together and wrangle what I wanted to say in this video. And I almost kind of threw in the towel. Someone gave me a metaphor, and they said that a kid with ADHD, the way that their brain works, it's like you took a mirror and you broke it, you shattered it into millions of pieces, and tossed them in the ground. There's dirt and weeds and all sorts of things. And you say, okay, now pick them up and put them back in order. I really resonated with that description because that is what my brain feels like. But I'm also highly creative and imaginative. I have so many ideas for so many things. But follow through is a whole nother thing. So I'm very excited and so proud of myself to actually be here, even if nobody watches it but my son, which is okay because I have to push through this, and that is what I'm doing. So I do get easily bored with mundane things, and that means that can really affect your business or kids. I mean, if you're bored and then you don't want to clean your room, or if you're bored, it's the mundane tasks are the ones that suffer. But I can hyper focus on things that I'm interested in, which, if you couldn't tell, ADHD would be one of those things, because it's answered so many questions about myself that I had no idea. And I might as well bring this up, that ADHD, A Hunter in a Farmer's World, is an excellent book to get you thinking about ADHD as a different brain type, not a disorder. Thom Hartmann theorizes that people with ADHD are actually leftover hunter-gatherers. And that really resonates with me. Because another thing, I can see so many things, but I'm very distracted. I'm distractible. My spell check told me that's not a word, but you know what? I think it is. And it works. Because I can hear noises. When I hear noises all around me, I get distracted. And it's very hard for me to concentrate and focus. This may be the same for you or your kids, but this is one of those things. But as a hunter, hunters need to be highly distractible. When they are hunting something, they need to be able to see all around them. They need to be able to separate colors. Gatherers too, right? I'm very good at picking things out. with color. I'm a very visual person, which means I'm terrible at directions unless they include things like mountains or streams or something. Like, I can understand those kind of directions better. Like, okay, you go over the mountain and you turn right at the, the poplar tree that looks like a question mark or whatever. I'm just making it up. Those things make better sense to me than, okay, turn right at the stop sign, then left, then another right. I actually do have dyslexia as well, which is another neurodivergence. And I turn things around. So that's kind of a double whammy. But I never thought it was bad enough to affect me, because actually my family has that. They have dyslexia. And then we found out we all have ADHD too, in varying levels. But let me get back. I can get distracted. We can get, time blindness as well. I actually did write myself a little, see, I can't think of the word. Does that ever happen to you? I'm looking at it and I know what it is, but the word is eluding me. Okay, it is an outline. I created myself an outline, and I ended up spending probably too much time doing it, actually. But it's helping me a little bit, and that's why I keep looking down. But as I said, this is my first video. Doing this is helping me to stay focused. So yeah, I can be easily overwhelmed and overstimulated. I have heard that a lot of people with ADHD hunter-type brains are cool as cucumbers under stress, though. That is why they tend to be on the front line, why they tend to be working in ERs, why they are entrepreneurs as well. And that's the risk-taking as well. They sort of go hand in hand. But I'm not sure. I haven't been in a whole heck of a lot of extreme situations. But if something happens with my kids and they're in danger, yes, I'm absolutely cool as a cucumber. So that, I thought that was a mom thing, but maybe it's a hunter thing. Yeah, impulsivity and the willingness to take risks. So yes, I am impulsive. If you talk to me in a conversation, I may interrupt you. I really try not to, and I've gotten better over the years, but this is one of those things. And it happens when I'm driving as well. If I'm driving and if I'm going to turn, I'll like check and go. None of that. Like, let's take a little bit of time and do it slowly. That doesn't happen. I'm like, phew, that's just, I've always done that, never understood why. But that actually makes good sense for me. And actually, look, I'm standing right here. This has nothing to do with impulsivity. But this does have to do with the fact that I have a standing desk. And I may not be completely hyperactive, but I do fidget. I am kind of going all over the place. But I keep finding my way back thanks to my nice little outline. So a lot of people with ADHD or the hunter-type brain, we have to be doing something else. It helps us to focus, to be doing something, to fidget or to stim, S-T-I-M. That could be playing with a fidget spinner, or that could be doodling, or that could be just sort of moving back and forth or something. I'm still learning about all of these things. And please let me know in the comments if you ever experience any of these, because they are a part of this. And I'm here to start community, to connect with people, and to let people know that they are not the only ones going through this. Being late diagnosed is so crazy. At the same time as being completely sort of almost world-shattering in one way, because it basically forces you to redefine everything. On the other hand, it is so one of the most awesome things that I have ever experienced, because it means, like, I now know what it is, kind of why I've behaved that way. Anyway, a lot of people tell me also that I need to work on one thing. Focus, just do one thing. That bores me to absolute tears. I cannot work on one thing. I have to work on multiple things. And actually, I'm really good at switching back and forth between them really fast. And one of my favorite authors, actually, I don't want to call people out if they don't know that they might have a different brain type, but I'll just say that the way that she writes her books, I'm not going to name her right now, but the way that she writes her books, she says that she has a different color for each of the documents, each of the things that she's writing, because she is a very prolific writer. She doesn't just write her humongous awesome books. She also writes articles, science articles, like technical articles, and write about a lot of different things. So she says that she can write 3/4 of a page and then she's done. So she'll go from one, she'll write 3/4 of a page. Then she goes to the next one. She writes 3/4 of a page. Then she goes to the next document. She writes 3/4 of a page. So it actually really helped me, and I started putting emojis on my documents so that I could quickly see what they were, know what they were, and be able to find them and have like a connection rather than what does that word mean? Anyway, that's an ADHD hack. So yeah, I've talked about a lot of things. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. Hyperfocus allows me to learn incredible amounts of information in a short amount of time because I'm basically obsessed with it and it's the only thing I could do. So I just keep on doing that. But it's a problem too because I can't stop doing it. And if I get interrupted, I get very upset. And that's something very challenging when I have 3 high energy precocious boys at the house. That can be very challenging. All right, so I just want to say one more thing. Well, a couple more things, but I'll say one of my biggest struggles currently is people not believing that this ADHD hunter brain type is real. I have made peace with the fact that I have it, and everybody can feel like they have a little bit at times, but a person who actually has this way of thinking, this is all the time. They cannot turn it off. They actually struggle greatly with self-esteem and believing in themselves and not thinking, because some of the horrible things that are said about people who have this brain type are lazy, like procrastinator, unorganized, messy. I mean, there's meaner stuff too, I guess. Of course there are. But those are some of the things that I've hit, and I've heard feedback like, well, you just have to try harder. Trying harder to be someone that you're not is not the way to go. Yes, it's important for you to know about yourself. That is the key. You know about yourself so that you can actually do something. When you know about yourself and you accept yourself for who you are and the way that your brain works or the way that your body works or the way that you look, you are more authentic to yourself, and people can see that. So that struggle of people not believing it's real, that is a struggle I'm struggling with right now. But at the same time, I have researched the heck out of this, and I have been diagnosed as well, outside of myself. But I know this to be true, and actually I'm totally empowered by it. It's amazing. So let me know in the comments when you're watching this video if this resonates with you and what your story is as well. I would love to hear it. So as I've said, I am currently reading the ADHD Hunter in a Farmer's World by Thom Hartmann. It's not exactly a review, and I have it from the library, and I haven't finished the book because if I finish the book, I'll be on to the next thing. But people used to think that ADHD was a disability and a sickness, an illness. But Thom Hartmann here, he reframes it. And farmers, after civilizations became agricultural, the hunter-gatherer system, was like no longer. But there have been human hunter-gatherers for much, much longer in the history of humanity than there were farmers. But he goes through this and talks about it. And maybe I'll do a closer review of this in another video. But basically, the reason there's so much trouble between the two is that farmers can sit and do things, boring things, over and over and over and over again. You can see by my face, I have a lot of difficulty doing boring things, doing things that do not light me up. It's super challenging, and yeah, it's very challenging. Anyway, something that I am watching currently about ADHD, there are actually 2 channels that I am really, really loving, and that is ADHD Love, that is Rox and Rich, so check them out, and Jessica McCabe of How to ADHD. They have so many helpful and entertaining videos as well. So I hope that one day I will have some entertaining videos like that to share on the topic. Okay, I'm going to close off the ADHD. If you are a mom or a woman, or even a parent who wants to connect with their kids through Minecraft, but you're not really sure how, then check out my free crash guide or cheat sheet, depending on which term you like better. And I can share with you the top 10 reasons how playing Minecraft with your kids will encourage connection. The link is in the description, so check that out. Let me know what resonated the most with you about what I was talking about. I did talk about an awful lot of things, and I did switch all over the place, but that's, that is the way my brain works. So let's turn Minecraft obsession into connection. Love and light, and I'll see you in the next video.